I got to number 1 in the entire world after the Clash Royale update with the best deck. Also, this Mighty Miner Lockbait deck is currently crushing the meta. Even Riley, the best Lockbait player by far, said the Mighty Miner is broken. Lockbait is finally back in the meta, and just like the speed of the Mighty Miner, I always feel like my game is laggy, but it's so fast. And if your opponent is low on elixir and the Mighty Miner connects to tower, it's basically over. This deck is so strong, and today I'm gonna show you the games against the best players in the world. If you guys enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe and also make sure to use creator code MOD in the shop. And I would say let's jump to the games, and I'm gonna show you why this deck is so broken after the update. Here we go, guys. Here in game number 1, and we are playing the final game for the number 1 in the world spot in the Lockbait mirror matchup. So I feel like he knows that it's a Lockbait mirror matchup since he just started directly at the bridge with a princess, and a mirror match I think is something you kinda need to learn since a ton of people will use this deck. And honestly, it's not easy. It's not an easy matchup, I would say, since, yeah, the early damage is really important. If you get, like, behind in this type of matchups, you're normally losing. So there's some strategies of winning. First of all, just like trying to go Prince at the bridge is one of the really effective strategies. Another one is trying to go for the Mighty Miner back, get some decent value out of that, and try to outcycle opponents, log, right? If you go in for the Mighty Miner back, you get a free card cycle going, and then you can go in for the barrels. Also, if you get Stone of the Mighty Miner unlocked yet, make sure to sub in a Valkyrie. Also works really great. But even with that, you still have some decent amount of answers, right? If you have the Fire Spirit instead of the Ice Spirit, you can also play that. I prefer Ice Spirit since it's better against Voyager and Hawk Riders. You can go in for Fire Spirit plus Goblins, but Goblins also alone do counter the Goblin Bowl without taking any damage. So we're gonna be really aggressive here because he went aggressive with the Prince, and I knew he didn't have his lock in cycle. So this is kind of what I'm talking about, right? Knowing when the opponent has the right answers in cycle, and he didn't have the right answers in cycle. So we're able to apply a ton of pressure, we're able to get a ton of damage early on, which is like, you're gonna think, okay, 300 damage. This is not a lot, but in a mirror matchup where it's at the end just rocket cycling, it's a lot of damage. Another really important sequence, as you guys can see also here, what we're doing is that you kind of need to see when the opponent has Prince in cycle. So this time I was not really aware of that. He goes in for a Prince at the bridge, but I'm just gonna go be really aggressive here, because I know I can. Also really bad Goblins. I was really hoping for his Mighty Miner to die, but unfortunately for us, his Mighty Miner survives. He at least still played a really horrible Fire Spirit, in my opinion, and we're doing a really good job. I think right now, he's just gonna go in most likely for his princes. I'm just gonna go for my prince. I'm just trying to protect my princes here with the Mighty Miner. Working it out really nicely since also the Fire Spirit was kind of wasted. And this time I'm just gonna go for the rocket here. I know I have the rocket advantage. I need one less rocket than him, so as long as I play defensive perfectly, like don't take any damage from him, I'm gonna win this game. And this is just the most important thing for myself. Keep that in mind. I don't need to be like worried about anything as long as I play perfect here. Also, I thought his prince would go on top of my prince, but it did not. So I can go in for a rocket here. Rocket is coming down. As you guys can see, his tower will be below 1.3k. This means basically 2 rockets kind of finishing him off. So we're gonna go for our barrel here. Also, his Mighty Miner didn't really do his job. I can just go in for the Ice Spirit here, and I guess I'm just gonna go for another Princess at the bridge, just apply some aggression because I know he at least needs to commit something, and I'm just going in for another rocket here. Oh, no, I need 2 more rockets, but he needs like, I think that he needs like 3 more rockets. So I'm just gonna go for my log, or he also needs a log on top. I'm not 100% sure though, so I'm just gonna go for the Mighty Miner here, try to get a 3 card cycle going, and I'm just gonna use my Prince here, and now I'm just gonna, I need to rocket here. I need to rocket here. It will be actually really close, so I'm just gonna go rocket here. I'm also going in for the barrel here, just trying to apply aggression. I'm just gonna go for the Ice Spirit here, and I know he can't really do anything because I am like really soon back to another rocket. He knows that, and his rocket is not it's not enough, so he needs to go rocket log. Rocket log will be able to finish off my tower, but he doesn't have his log. He needs to use it on defense. So we didn't really have like 1 rocket advantage if we was going to target about that like that, maybe just 1 log, but as long as you know that your opponent needs rocket plus log, just spam the Goblin Barrels. Just spam the Goblin Barrels that your opponent needs to log on defense, and we were winning this game. Next game here versus Sasuke. Actually, this I would consider this a tough matchup. He has the Log, he has the Tornado, he has the Magic Archer, so I think it was also a matchup which I like played 2 days ago. Where you need to play really defensive as the Log player, and you can't really do any mistakes because every time you're like overcommitting, you're getting punished directly by the Magic Archer. So you always need to be careful. And I think I was like really sad about like this connection there on the right side, him getting him. But you also missed the Magic Arch, so that's not really too bad. I'm just gonna go in for this here. I need to go for a Mighty Miner here. Mighty Miner comes a bit late, so you get some damage, but at least you also fire a Tornado, and I would say a really aggressive start. No, we don't really see that you're dead getting so much damage that early on, but the good thing is for us, he still needs to go for a Tornado, so that's completely fine. I'm just gonna go for Prince at the Bridge here because I know, okay, he's low on Elixir, right? He spends so much because now I can go immediately. Log out of cycle, Tornado out of cycle, no Elixir for Valk, so now it's only response for that is Skeletons, and I'm up 600 damage in a matchup where I know at the end it's about me cycling and hopefully just 2 rockets on a tower and defend perfectly. I think you're also gonna see a really great cannon placement, which I'm really recommend to you guys, which is really important in this type of matchups, just really helping you all a lot. But first of all, I think I'm just going to go for my Goblins at the Bridge, trying to chip away, but he goes in for a Valk. So as you guys can see, I'm just going to go for the cannon low this time. I'm using my Ice Spirit here to catch this one, going in for that. But I'm also, I guess, I'm just going to go for a Lock here to buy a bit more time to kill that. I think he's just going to go now for his Magic Archer. I think like a really bad ability, I should have waited because the Magic Archer didn't really go on my side, or like didn't really go on my tower. So now he gets some decent amount of chip damage, but I can immediately go in for my barrel here because I know he's low, so he needs to go for Tornado, which he didn't really time perfectly. But yeah, we're playing like, he's not really playing too well for sure, but this is kind of what you kind of need to know, that when you're like have a bad matchup, you need to play perfect, and you sometimes need to hope also the opponent's doing mistakes. And with Logbait, it's really hard to play flaws against because the pressure is absolutely insane. So I'm just gonna go for my Ice Spirit here. Absolutely insane Ice Spirit. I still have my Log ready just in case the Wall Breaker survives. It actually survived, so I had a Log there. I'm using now my barrel here to the side. He goes for a Log. It's all right. It's all the right. Tower goes down to 822 rocket. Will be able to finish it off. And I know. Okay, let's just rocket the tower. Now you guys will see an absolutely amazing cannon play. I'm gonna go for the cannon here, predict the Magic Archer, and also kite the Wall Breaker, going for a perfect Ice Spirit, going for a perfect Goblins here, using my Log now. Absolutely incredible Log. Also using another barrel here. Now we stone Elixir, he can't defend that, and I'm just gonna go in for the cannon here. Also make sure in case he goes for Wall Breaker at the bridge that I'm like killing them. So an absolutely crazy play at the end. I think like a play which you can kinda also taking your play consideration, since it does really well, like kiting everything over. The opponent's not gonna able to get a Magic Archer, and sometimes, as you guys were seeing in the gameplay, we also sniped the Magic Archer there. So guys, another game I want to show to you guys is this game against Ahand. I don't know if you guys know him. He is like famous for playing this absolutely awkward Golem 3 Musketeers Horde spam deck, and I actually lost against him earlier because I wasn't really playing well, but this is kind of also the lessons you need to take. There are some matchups which I'm feeling comfortable with, which you're feeling comfortable with, but there are also some matchups you don't feel comfortable with, right? Like even people are always telling you, you have matchup, this is your matchup, you should win this one, you hard counter. This is like every single player has this, even more Light, Mugi, me, every single pro has this, that like there are some matchups which you don't really like at all, and even if you would consider good matchups, you're still struggling. So what is really great about the Mighty Miner after the buff? Mighty Miner plus Goblins, absolutely crazy, but I need to give like kind of him credit for getting like a really great King activation there. But I knew, I know Art, he's like in my stream a lot, he's like one of my VIPs, he's an absolutely great guy, even he plays a toxic deck, and I know he likes to do predictions, so I knew we were just gonna go on for that. But actually King activation is really helpful for him, since he's like playing a really heavy deck, so at one point he needs to let a ton of stuff go, and every time we're going for the Goblin Bow, right now with activated King Town, it's not really helping. So this time I'm just gonna be aggressive here. Why do I go aggressive? Because I was kind of predicting his pump, right? If he would have pumped immediately, I could have like really being aggressive then cycle and then just going for the barrel on the pump, because first of all I start to go and rocket on the pump. It's the safe play. Sometimes you still need to do it, but I really also like to go and pressuring him with like Mighty Miner Goblins, and then going for the going for the barrel on top of the pump is really great sometimes also. So we're going for the barrel here. I'm just gonna go for a log here. We're just going for this, and I'm using my ice bird here. Really great ice bird, putting in a ton of work, and now I'm just gonna go princess, and I'm up a lot. Like, I'm really up a lot, and I don't know if we're like able to, yeah, to really get back into the game. I mean, he has a really cheap, really expensive deck, but he doesn't have a pump on the map, and like, I know him, he's also streaming sometimes. I know like his playstyle, how his playstyle is, and I know that he really likes the pump, but now you guys gonna see something which is absolutely incredible. Look at me doing that, like getting one tower, going for the Mighty Miner over, and it's absolutely insane. Since the Mighty Miner is so fast, it's so hard to defend. You're using your build, you get another tower, and from here right now, it's basically over. He goes all in, we got enough elixir, going for the Mighty Miner to tank for the Musketeers, going Walker left, and it's basically over. GG's were played. I mean, against heavy decks, you really like to play this one because the pressure with the Goblins plus Mighty Miner combination offense is absolutely outstanding. I want to show you the best games against really great players and also difficult matchups in Clash Royale. And this is for sure a difficult one. He not just has like the log, he has the delivery, he has the Royal Hogs and the EQ on offense. So I would say he has a ton of cards against me which are doing a really great job cleaning up that. So how I'm supposed to damage, but like how I'm also to be able to go rocket cycle, right? If your opponent has all the answers he has, for sure it will be a game where we're trying to rocket cycle him. But you also need to consider that your rocket costs 6 elixir, right? He has the Royal Hogs and he has the EQ, so it will be really hard to defend. But I think in this game I'm kind of able to show you guys how to win this type of matchup. So we're going for the build here. He needs to be, at least we're forcing out a cannon, right? So it was a well for the build. Right now we're just down 1 elixir, but we also got some decent amount of chips. So I'm just going to go in for my prince here, and this is kind of your main defense you want to do. If you face Royal Hogs EQ, you normally want to go for the cannon outside anti-EQ spot, because now you can't EQ a cannon and your tower, and then you want to go for the princess low, and normally also you're trying to play an ice bird on top of the hoggies to push also the one hoggy to the cannon, because otherwise, as we're seeing here, not every, like 4 of the 5 piggies just go on top of my cannon, and you want to like every single piggy to go on top of my cannon. So they were really bad goblins also. He gets an EQ on tower, but it's alright. I know that I can still win this one. I'm just gonna go for the princess here at the bridge. This time we do get a ton of value, and I can just go for basically a really free log here. You need to kind of keep the log, or you have the log already prepared on hand to go directly. I'm just gonna go for the ice bird here early on, and trying to go as late as I can with the Mighty Miner, but he kind of knew that, so credit to him for like playing it that well. Really perfect ability. No queen shot. I actually thought this situation the queen will get a shot, but it did not. Also, let me know what you guys think about the new meta. I didn't ask it at like the intro. I should have done that. What do you guys think about the new meta? Do you feel like more motivated to play the game again? Because I think we all agree that the last couple of days, weeks, Clash Royale wise were absolutely horrible. Here actually see you me kind of the missing up the placement, but Goblins are doing an absolutely crazy job. So I'm just gonna go for a log here, and I think I'm just gonna go rocket because I feel like, okay, I got a ton of value out of my Goblins. But yeah, the last couple of days, weeks were absolutely hard, and even like the Mighty Miner feels a bit OP. It's okay. Like, I will never expect Supercell like having changes where no card is broken, no champion is broken, because I feel like we are at a point where Clash Royale is doing broken champions on purpose. I feel like this is like normal for them, right? Like every time like the Queen was broken at one point, the Golden Knight, the Skelly King, the Golden Knight, the Skelly King, the Queen, the Mighty Miner, the Monk, so yeah, okay. So as you guys can see, we're still like going in for the rocket cycle. We have the Mighty Miner on the map, which is actually quite helpful. Like first of all, killing the Queen, second of all, having the free cut cycle going. And yeah, Princess Log, Icewood, Goblins, Lake. Goblins are so strong, right? Like they're such a good log bait also, since the opponent never wants to use log on top of the Goblins. If you play them a bit later, after the EQ is down, the EQ is not able to kill fully Demon, even if like the opponent plays the EQ in time. It's still okay, right? Because the Goblins at the time where the EQ is killing them, you're still doing so much work. So I'm using this time the rocket on defense. Why? Pretty obvious, because I didn't have a log, so and I didn't want to. I mean, I felt like when I go for the cannon, I will take too much damage. So I'm using my Iceburn on the left. I'm now just going to go for my cannon low this time, because I cannot go cannon high because his cannon is there. So I need to go for a log here. And I'm just going to use really great Goblins, as I said. You want to wait a bit, because otherwise the EQ is completely countering them. So another barrel is coming down just to also apply some pressure, right? I don't want him to 24/7 spam me, so at least even if it's a -1 on elixir trade, just make them that he can't play a Royal Hogs 24/7 at the bridge. So I'm using my log, a great log, getting chip damage to tower, and also pushing it to the side. And right now, I think I'm just gonna go for a princess here, trying to snipe the queen here. He uses a really early build here, which is in my opinion a bad choice. Because now I can just go in for this here. I think I'm just gonna go Rocket now. I think I need to go Rocket, especially when he plays a cannon. I know, okay, I can easily do that. And I'm just gonna go for this here. I'm using my barrel here. I'm using my log here. I'm using my ice spirit here. And I know they will be really, really close here. But I also know that the Rocket will be able to finish off him now. I'm just gonna go for the Rocket. GG's, well played. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is by far right now the best deck in Clash Royale after the new balance change update. And if you guys enjoy this type of content, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to use Critical Mode in the shop. And also let me know which deck I should try out next. And I would say I'm out. Thanks for watching and goodbye, guys.